I don't like to not know. You know, when you're raising your children, you want to be the best mom you can be because you want to have the best kids who then become great parents themselves. And at least that's the way I did it. And I think that, you know, we all have different walks of life, but that's generally what a parent really wants to do. They bring children in the world. Yeah. I think there's so much out there, so much in this changing landscape with regard to drugs.
There's pushes to get cocaine legalized. I always say the devil's in the details. Let's say you're going to legalize cocaine. Where are you going to get it from? Are you going to go to a pharmacy? You're going to go to a grocery store? How is that going to work? And then the fallout from that. You know, it's one thing to say, you know, I don't like the issues, I don't like the war on drugs, the incarceration, all that, fine. But does that mean that we're going to go clear to the other side, that pendulum again swinging all the way over to the other side, to say, well, let's just legalize it, make it, you know, a free-for-all, get it wherever you want, and it's up to you. I think we need to, again, come back into the middle, have real meaningful discussions, and take a look at what these issues mean. If you're going to do X, what does it mean for Y? And how is that going to happen? But I can tell you that I haven't seen it work yet with the way that we've done it. It certainly hasn't worked for alcohol, and we've tried all kinds of ways. It certainly hasn't worked for tobacco, and I don't think it's working in terms of marijuana. I think we had the chance to get it done, get it right. We didn't. And as we start to move to other things, how's this going to work? I think that we need to put the brakes on, take a look at these things, and really sit down and have some meaningful discussion. I can also tell you that if we don't look at this from a federal perspective, then we're going to have problems. If we take a look at why or how the federal government came to have the Controlled Substance Act and how it came for the federal government to have control over all of that interstate commerce from every single state, it was because each state had different laws on different drugs, and including marijuana. And so at some point in time, you could be on one side of the block and step on the other and be legal here and have a felony conviction across the street. Or as you move from one state to another state, you got something in your trunk and you forgot about it, and it's legal one place and it's a federal offense the next. So until the federal government gets involved, and I'm not typically one for bigger government getting into bigger issues. I'm not. But on this issue, I think it's going to have to play out that way, or we're just going to have such a hodgepodge of drug issues, confusion from state to state, that then somebody's going to have to come in and declare this is the way it's going to be. Yeah. But until we have those sit-down discussions and really look at this not from a wish, want, and desire, but from a public health perspective, from a children's right perspective, and from a human right perspective, then we're going to have a problem, and we're not going to solve it. In the 80s, there was a whole sea change on drug policy. Marijuana in the late 70s was almost legalized. We were that close in the 70s to legalizing it, and then something happened. And what was it? It was cocaine. Cocaine came on in the late 70s, certainly the early 80s, and it exploded. And it changed the face of the conversation of drugs. We lost, celebrities, John Belushi. The biggest one was Lynn Bias, who was a college basketball player and was going to be the greatest professional basketball player ever. And he had just a massive heart attack on the basketball court. And if you take a look, I can't remember, it was a magazine, I guess I don't want to mention the name since I'm not really sure about it, but it was 1978, 1979, and it was on the front cover, cocaine, the drug of the future. It's non-addictive, it's non-harmful, it doesn't hurt you, it is the drug of the future, the drug of the 80s. And then we found out the truth about it. And then I come to this, around 2010, we've got this marijuana legalization movement, and it's not harmful, it's not addictive, it's the drug of the future.
I've seen all the covers. It drives me crazy.
It was the same conversation about marijuana that we had about cocaine. And I'm not
saying
comparing
one is
I'm
the
not
other. I
comparing one to the
understand.
other. I'm just saying
I understand, but it is
it was the
interesting.
same conversation.
Yeah.
It was the same kind of rollout of things that weren't exactly true. I just think that we all need to take a step back and have some really good conversations, or we're gonna have much more of a problem than just simply opioid addictions.
You're absolutely right. We hope we can just bring you some of that perspective as well, because it's not always easy to find when all you're seeing on TV is how just the one side of the beauty of it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.